Hi everyone, thank you very much for watching this video. So in Unit 4 for Math, our focus has been on trying to solve or calculate the product of a multiplication problem which involves decimal numbers. Okay. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making two videos, and in each of the video I will be discussing and sharing one way which we can use to solve a multiplication problem which involves decimal numbers. Okay. I will not be making a video talking about how to use the vertical form, because I felt like most students were familiar and were comfortable with using the vertical form. Okay. The reason I decided to make these videos is because actually I've noticed that there are some students who maybe don't feel comfortable using the vertical form, or the vertical form is quite easy to make mistakes with for some students. Okay, so I'll be making two videos, and in each of them I'll be explaining other ways which students can, try to solve multiplication problems which involves decimal numbers. And hopefully at least one of the two ways will be clear and useful for you guys. Okay, so we've got a problem on the screen. Okay, so it says 1.5 times 0.35, and so let's use this as an example question, and let's try to find a product, the answer to this multiplication question. Alright, and probably there are some students who, when you look at this question, automatically they go, ooh, I don't really like this question, or they might be a little bit panicked already because it's got decimal numbers in it. Okay. Now, as we discussed in class, okay, we don't really need to panic. I'm 100% sure that nobody needs to panic just because there are decimal numbers involved in a multiplication problem. Because there's a way to get around this. Okay. And as we discussed in class, okay, we've discussed that it's okay to change the two numbers, the multiplier and the multiplicand. Okay, so this is the multiplier here, right? And then the second number, the number we are multiplying the multiplier by, okay, is the multiplicand. And we discussed how it's okay to change those numbers so that we change the question into something that we feel a little bit more comfortable with. So, how can we change these two numbers into numbers that we feel more comfortable with? Well, if we multiply the multiplier by 10 and multiply the multiplicand by 100, what happens? Well, we change the question into something that looks like that. Now, how does the question look to us? If you compare the original question and this new question we have, this new number sentence we have, maybe most students would be more comfortable with this question here because there are no decimal numbers involved. Okay, and like I've been saying repeatedly, it's okay to change the question from this to this. However, the important thing is we do need to understand that they're not the same question. We did change the question, okay, into something that looks more clear for us. Okay, so why don't we then kind of shift the focus from this question here to this question here, and let's try to find the product of this question here, and maybe we can use the product of 15 times 35 to try to find the product of the original question, which is 1.5 times 0.35. Okay, so I'm going to put the same question up here, 15 times 35, so we can use this space over here to try and solve for the product of this number sentence. Now, like I said at the start of this video, I'm not going to be using the vertical form to find the product. Okay, so this time what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be studying these two numbers first. Okay, and I'm going to simply ask myself, well, how many tens and how many ones are each of these numbers made out of? Well, the number 15 is made out of 1 10 and 5 ones. Number 35 is made out of 3 tens and 5 ones. Okay, and I've grouped the addition here. Okay, and over here, so I've got two groups of additions, which is kind of representing 15 and 35. Okay, and so in a way, this number sentence here is the same as these two groups being multiplied, right? The next thing I do is I count and find out how many numbers there are in each of the groups. Okay, well, over here there's two numbers, 10 and 5. Over here there's two numbers as well, 30 and 5. Now I'm going to multiply those two numbers, 2 times 2, which gives us 4. Now, this number 4 we are not going to be using to do any calculation with, but this number 4 actually tells us a very, very, very important information. Why? Because after we rewrite the multiply and the multiplicand, we write them as group of addition. The next thing we're going to do is, using these 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, we're going to write a simple math sentence which involves multiplication, using one number from this group and one number from this group. And that number 4, 2 times 2, that number 4 tells us, well, how many different multiplication math sentences we can make or we can write, okay, when we multiply one number from this group and another number from this group. So the answer is 4, right? So let's think of 4 different, the key is different, 4 different math sentence where one number from this group and another number from this group are multiplied. So first, I might choose 10 and 30. Okay. Well, 10 times 30 is 300. Okay. Next, I might choose 10 again from this group, and I'll choose 5 from this group. 10 times 5 is 50. Okay. Next, I might choose 5 from this group and 30 from this group. Well, 5 times 30 is 150. Okay. And lastly, 5 and 5. So 5 times 5 is 25. We came up with 4 number sentence where one number from this group and one number from this group are multiplied. And I don't think we can come up with any other different math sentences. Okay, so again, this 2 times 2, which equals 4, that number 4 gave us that clue about how many different math sentences we can make. Next, what we are going to do is we're going to add these 4 products. Okay, and I might use this space over here to go through that process. Okay, so first of all, I might start by adding these two numbers, 350. Well, 300 plus 50 is 350. Okay. Next, I'm going to add these two numbers here. So that's 150 plus 25, which equals 175. And the last step is I want to add 350 and 175, right? And that'll give us our final total. okay, of the four products. And 350 plus 175 equals 525. And I might just bold that because that's our final answer. Okay, so what does 525 mean? Well, that is the product of 15 times 35. And what I might just do very quickly is I will take out a calculator. Okay, and I might just quickly check. Okay, so I might just put the calculator right there, and let's try 15 times 35 equals 525. So I think so far we're doing well. Okay, the answer does seem to be correct. Okay, next, however, we're actually not done here. If you know, we're still trying to find a product of the original question, which was not 15 times 35, but 1.5 times 0.35. Okay, and if we really look at this part very closely, okay, when we changed the question into this, when we changed the original question into this, we multiplied it by 10 and 100, which together makes 1,000, right? 10 times 100 is 1,000. So we could use this number here, 525, and maybe if we divide it by 1,000, that will give us the product of the original number sentence or the math problem, which was 1.5 times 0.35. So let's try that. Okay. And sorry, I already prepared the answer, but if we do 525 divided by 1,000, okay, because the decimal place for 525 moves 3 places to the left, right? 1, 2, 3 places to the left, the answer is going to be 0.525. And I'll just bold that as well. Okay. Now, I might just take out a calculator again and just check that's correct. I'll put the calculator this side for now. So let's try 1.5 times 0.35. And it says it equals 0.525, which is the answer we reached as well. Okay. So, when you have a question, when you have a multiplication question which involves decimal numbers, you know, the first thing we could do is rewrite them so it only involves whole numbers. Then we could find a product of that multiplication number sentence, and then look at by how much, how many times we changed the multiplier and the multiplicand by when we rewrote the question, and then we just need to divide by that amount. Okay, and then we should be able to reach to the answer that we want. Okay. I think some parts in this video I went a little bit quick, but you know, the great thing about videos are that we can kind of stop them and go back and watch them again, you know, listen to what was said again. So please, if you need to do that, please do that. I hope that, you know, especially this part over here, you know, I didn't use the vertical form, and I hope to some students at least, you know, this way of solving a multiplication problem is clear. And you know, if you feel like you feel comfortable trying this, I mean, please, you know, try it. And if anyone's got any question about anything that was said or explained in this video, please, I'll be more than happy to talk about it with you later at school. Okay? So thank you very much for watching this video, and yeah, thank you very much. All right, bye bye.